and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. I know I say this all the time, and I sound like a broken record, but we have a great show, and we're going to be talking about Club Pure and Project Rock, and that sounds like something we shouldn't be talking about when it has to do with children in our community, in our school system. But as the show proceeds, everyone is going to see how wonderful both these things are and how relevant they are to our kids. So, without further ado, we have Nicholas Curry. Nicholas, what is your exact title with all of this that's going on?
Well, I'm the executive director at Club Pure Inc., and I wear many hats, you know.
Okay.
So wherever I'm needed, you know, we're always filling in. But
let's back up. I need some background for our viewers of you, and then let's talk about Club Pure and Project Rock. Tell us how long you've been here, what you've been doing, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm originally from South Africa.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I can tell.
So my accent's a little different. I grew up in South Africa, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 25 years old.
Okay.
And came over with a church group, actually. And we started a church, and from there, worked with children, working with teenagers, met Misty, who's my wife. And we moved up to St. Lucie County.
How long ago?
5 years ago.
Okay.
6 years ago.
Great.
She was mainly in Martin County.
Okay.
But then we moved to St. Lucie County, and we were involved with the Firehouse Youth Center, doing work here.
Right.
And then we started Club Pure in 2008. And we started with a before and after school care programs, summer camp programs. And we've mainly been working with elementary school students.
Okay, and let's start with Club Pure, because I know Project Rock is an offshoot of that.
Sure.
Tell us about Club Pure and what that is and what it does.
Well, Club Pure is a before and after school care program. And right now we have 2 locations. We have our Green Zone location on Oleander Avenue, and then we have our Blue Zone location, which is at the Port St. Lucie Civic Center.
Okay.
So we're in 2 of the school zones, and we're actually looking to get our 3rd zone in the red zone. When we started, we wanted to be in all 3 school zones. So we're currently 2 of the 3. We do before and after school care, and we have transportation to our facility. We also do the arts. We're big into the arts. So dance is one of the things that we love the most, and we have about 60, 70 kids involved in our dance program. And we do hip-hop, we do jazz, we do breaking. We've got a guy by the name of Spiral, and he's...
What a name.
He spins on his head, he does all kinds of stuff. So he's... He's training the kids for competition and those kind of things. But what we really like doing is we bring the kids into a family production on a Friday evening. And so the kids get to showcase to their parents and peers what they've been learning in our program. And we have family nights where we strengthen families and have a lot of fun on those Friday evenings. We also do a lot of community events. So we're out in the community showcasing. And so that's a little bit about Club Pure. We also have a nightclub.
And is that at the same
That's at the same location, yep, on Oleander Avenue. See, in South Africa, I was managing nightclubs and doing that kind of thing.
Right.
But it was just...
For adults.
For adults.
Okay.
Totally wrong environment to be in. And so we wanted to have a pure clubbing experience as an alternative. And so we wanted to give kids something that they could enjoy with their families and not be pulled into all the other stuff that comes along with the club scene.
Right.
And so that's Club Pure. That's really what its foundation is.
And the hours of operation?
Well, we throw parties for kids. We do bubble parties, glow parties. We do all kinds of different dress-up nights for them, etc. And so that'll happen on a Friday or Saturday. We do them from time to time, part of the family nights. At the end, they do line dances. And so it's just a fun environment for kids and families.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot of information.
That is a lot of information.
So
that's Club Pure.
Okay, so let's back up. This... Club Pure and the nightclub. What ages do you work with?
Elementary school students.
Okay,
so we're going 5 through 12. Correct.
Oh, okay. So 5 through 12.
Correct.
Okay, and do their parents have to be involved or no?
They don't have to be involved, but we encourage parent involvement. It's about strengthening the family. And when the kids are coming to showcase to their parents, they bring all their family members out to come in and watch their kids. So they do performances on the Friday evenings.
And you're open 7 days a week or 5 days a week?
We're open Monday through Friday.
Okay.
6:30 a.m. for before care. And then we close at 6:30 p.m. for our after-school care program.
Unless you have a
night, correct.
Like a Friday night.
Like a Friday evening.
Then it's open later. Okay. Okay. So how does a child sign up for this? How are these children that have been referred to you by the school system, or do people just hear about you? And what's the cost, for example?
Okay. Our after-school care program is $43 a week.
Oh, wow.
To be in our after-school care program, and $53 for before and after-school care. And so the dance classes are included in our aftercare program. It's not an additional charge.
Right.
And so that way, when parents pick up at 6:30, their kids are done for the day. They don't have to take them out to another class in the evening. They can go home, have dinner, and spend some time together. So the dance class is included, but we do have additional classes that kids can get involved in. And that's only $15, $20 a month for them to take an evening class.
Wow. Okay.
So we're trying to make it affordable.
Yeah, I was going to say it's $8 a day or something.
It is, yeah.
Now, do you feed them or anything like that?
We do have a snack. I wouldn't say a full meal, but we provide an afternoon snack when they get there. And whenever a kid is hungry, we're always going to help them out, you know.
So if a parent works or whatever needs to... now, how do they get from Club Pure that to the school at?
Well,
if they're there at 6:30.
We have a relationship with transportation, St. Lucie County Transportation, and we are a pickup drop-off site. So the buses actually come right by our facilities, pick students up, take them to school, and then in the afternoons pick them up from school, take them back to our facilities. And so our facilities where parents drop off and pick up, either at the Blue Zone or the Green Zone location.
And help me with this, because now I've been doing these shows that involve the education in St. Lucie County, the teachers for a while now. I've never heard anybody use Green Zone, Blue Zone, Red Zone. What is that? Is that the districts of the...
That's the school districts.
Oh, okay.
So they're broken into 3 zones.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm just ignorant.
Wow.
That's terrible. No, okay, so you're in Club Pure is in the Green Zone?
Club Pure has 2 locations. One is in the Green Zone, which is north of Midway, all the Fort Pierce schools.
Okay.
Blue Zone is Bayshore East.
Gotcha.
Red Zone is Bayshore West.
But you don't have anything in there yet?
No, but we do have private transportation going to a couple of the Red Zone schools.
Okay.
So we pick up from there.
So the buses go by both of these locations and take children to school, and then after school they will drop them back off till the parents pick them up
Correct.
at 6:30.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
And then we even transport students between sites. So let's say mom wants to pick up from the Green Zone location or the Blue Zone location. We can arrange transportation between the sites if that's necessary.
And how many children do you help? Do you service?
We have about 150 kids right now daily.
Really?
Right.
Wow. Okay.
So we're limited with space. That's always a big thing is space. You need a lot of space when you're going to be doing work with kids.
Right.
So we're looking for a pretty big location in St. Lucie West right now to be able to house maybe 150, 200 kids.
Gotcha. Okay, so now let's talk about Project Rock. What is that?
Project Rock is an out-of-school suspension program.
Okay.
So if a child gets suspended from school for any reason, they have an alternative to staying at home. So they could, it's a free service that's provided, and actually Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County fund Project Rock. So it's a free service provided to families for their kids, and we're open at 7 a.m. in the morning, and we close at 3 in the afternoon. We do provide breakfast and lunch for them, which comes from the school system. We actually pick their lunches up.
Now, and let me stop you again, because there's so much, this is so neat, and there's so much information. So they're there. Are they referred by the school system to you? Is that the way that works?
What happens is they get a referral or a suspension notice, and the deans actually hand our flyer to the students at the same time. And it has all our information on it. And so this is an option for a parent. If a parent wants to enroll their child into the program, then they either pick up the phone or go to the website, download the application, and then they actually have to come to the facility to register their child there.
And what age groups is this? Same?
This is K through 12.
Wow.
So any student that is suspended has...
Well, nobody gets suspended in kindergarten, do they? They do?
They're actually in elementary school. I wouldn't say kindergarten. We haven't had any kindergartners.
Right.
But some elementary school students sometimes struggle, you know, and they have an off day and they might get suspended. So.
And this wouldn't be for the whole year, or can it be for the whole year?
Well, a suspension is usually 1 to 10 days.
Okay.
So they come, they do time with us in the program. And what is the benefit of the program? Firstly, we provide a safe place for the kids to be. And Project Rock got started because a student was on a 10-day out-of-school suspension, and he wasn't at home. He was on the streets, and he was killed. He was actually shot and killed. That happened in Fort Pierce 14 years ago.
Wow.
And so a group of people got together and said, we need to do something about this. Where are our kids if they're not in school?
Right.
And does mom and dad have the ability to care for them? What if they're working? What happens to that student? And so that's how Project Rock got started. And it was on Avenue Q at Miracle Prayer Temple with the Browns for 14 years. And so just over the summer, they retired the program, and Children's Services Council put out the information to see who wanted to pick the program up.
Oh,
and so
okay.
6 different organizations that actually put in an application, and Club Pure was the organization that was selected to take Project Rock for the next school year.
Oh, I got you. So this is your first year then?
This is our first year doing Project Rock.
Is it great?
It is great. We're so excited. You know, we've wanted to expand our programming from elementary school students into middle and high school. And so, you know, kids, they leave elementary school, they're in middle school now. And, you know, we don't want to lose them. We have such great relationships with the students. They want to hang around. So we're looking at establishing programming in Club Pure for the kids as they grow. And so Project Rock, when we heard about it, it fit perfectly with what we were doing, because before care is from 6:30 till about 8.
Right.
And then after school care is obviously in the afternoons. But our facility sits open from 7 till 3. And that's the time that Project Rock actually uses the facility.
Gotcha.
So our facility is being used all day now, which is great.
What kind of staff do you have, Nicholas?
Well, we have about 4 people working on Project Rock specifically.
Okay.
And then we have about 12 to 15 people working with Club Pure.
Do they get... okay, let's talk about Project Rock here for a second. Do the children get taught during that time period, or are they just having fun?
No, they're definitely not just having fun. When they come into the environment, the first thing that we do is we deal with the conflict that got them suspended. That's the first issue that we deal with.
Okay.
So we have an intake interview. We speak with the parent and with the child, and we try to determine if it's something that's happening at home that's causing the behavior, or if it's actually an issue that's happening at school with other students. And bullying is probably one of the biggest reasons why kids get suspended, fights, or disrespecting the teachers,
right.
Not participating with the groups in the classes. And then obviously, you know, there comes a certain point where a teacher doesn't have a choice, there's too much disruption, and has to do a suspension. And I've spoken to some of the principals, and they said they hate, you know, suspending students from school, but in some cases it's necessary. And so when they get there, we have to deal with the reason why they got suspended, and then talk to them about other ways of dealing with their frustration. Then we also provide education. So if it's more than 2 days, the parent can request homework, and then we sit and do the education piece so that they don't get behind on their schoolwork.
Oh, I gotcha. So they're doing the daily work that they would be doing if they were in school, just in this different environment during the suspension.
Correct.
Okay. And anything else are they getting? Let's say their issues are they fought back, but as you talk to them, as you talk to the parents, the reason that they hit Johnny was because they were being bullied. Do you deal with those psychological, emotional issues, or is that not something you're equipped to deal with?
You know, our staff are trained to deal with some behavioral things, but not on that level.
Right.
And so we do have guest speakers that come in on a daily basis from different organizations in the community, and they actually present information to the students while they're there. We also are scheduling field trips for the year, like to the Juvenile Detention Center, to Truancy Court, right. And we're looking to possibly go to the jail just to swing by there and just give the students an eye-opening experience what a road would lead to if they didn't turn around.
Okay. And well, how do you do this, Nicholas, when the ages are so varied? I mean, is it... you follow
I do understand what you're saying. We have 3 staff members that can break students into different groups.
Oh, I got you. So you can focus on
So we can focus.
Okay.
But generally we have maybe, like this week was our 2nd week. We had 6 students already in our program. So they were all high school students.
Oh, okay.
They were seniors. So we haven't had
that
any...
worked out good, yeah.
That did work out good. So we haven't had really many of the younger students, but we can break them into 2 groups and work with the younger kids separately from the high school students.
Now, do you find that there is significant... I mean, what are you seeing? Of course, I know it's brand new, so
Right.
that you don't have a track record on this, but even... Well, let's back up. Club Pure, that is not, though that is not for troubled youth, correct?
Correct.
Or are there troubled youth in there?
One of the things that we've been doing at Club Pure is there's certain elementary school students that are just struggling in the school system. And so they are actually getting suspended from school or in trouble at school. And there's many after-school care programs that cannot handle those students.
Right.
So Club Pure has been a final resort for them.
Okay, so it is for... Okay.
And so we've had 6 or 7 students that we have taken in and that we've been working with in our program. And, you know, we look at the parents, we see that they're working. No other organization is going to keep them anymore. And so we've tried to do our best to work with the students. It has been a struggle. And so when Project Rock came along, we felt that it was the perfect fit for us.
Right.
Because we could move the students from Club Pure into this environment and deal with them specifically around the needs that they had, as opposed to trying to integrate them into a group and then the whole group kind of fall apart because of one student.
Right.
So as you're saying, Club Pure isn't really designed for the students that are getting into trouble.
But you do have some.
We do have some, absolutely.
Okay. But Project Rock obviously is. Now, do you have the parent? Let's say the parents don't work. I mean, the children who get in trouble or suspended do not always come from families where both parents work.
Correct.
Some neither parents work, or some only one parent works. Do you find that you're having parental involvement in Project Rock, or no?
Well, what we've heard, it's very hard to get the parent engaged in the student's life.
Right.
And so in just the last 2 weeks that we have actually been working with the program, there have been 1 or 2 parents that haven't been willing to take that initiative to come to the facility. And we actually offer that we would come to the house, do the interview at the house, and actually pick the child up to bring them to the program.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, we want to help the students succeed. And we're a Kids at Hope facility. So we want to do everything that we can with the resources that we have to actually help the students that need the help in the community.
Well, is there any other program? Now, I know of, obviously, places that children can go to school when they are suspended, let's say, for a year.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're aware of those programs. is there any other program other than yours that just deals with kids that are suspended for 2 days up to 10 days?
I don't think there is. I think Project Rock is the only one. And there's actually Project Rock South that deals with the Port St. Lucie schools. And then there's Project Rock North that deals with the Fort Pierce schools.
Okay, and that you don't have, you're not involved with, or you?
We're not involved with the South.
Okay.
There's another director of the South. It is another program funded by the Children's Services Council. And so students can either, if a parent wanted to bring their student to the North because it's, on the way to work, or they could drop them off at our location, or vice versa.
Okay.
So both programs work together, but they are separate.
Okay. So far, you've done the Project Rock for 2 weeks. You had seniors. Give us your feeling. What have you seen? Why are they acting out? What's especially seniors?
Right.
They're at the end.
They are at the end, and 2 or 3 of the students, it's just silly little things.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not going to give you my cell phone, and then get into an argument with the teacher.
Oof.
We had another 2 students. They were actually boyfriend and girlfriend, and they got into a fight at school. So she was a little jealous. She thought he was looking at another girl, so she hit him in the face. And then
oops,
he hit her back.
Oh, no.
And so they both got suspended, and they ended up at Project Rock, almost sitting next to each other and having to deal with a conflict. So it was very interesting to see the couple that were in there. And then there was another gentleman who was, you could just see that he didn't like school, he didn't like home, and he was just struggling in
Wow.
general. And so he didn't want to be at Project Rock. And so there's only so much you can do, And so that's kind of what we've seen. There were 1 or 2 other kids that, just silly little things that they do, at school. And so it's not always a student that's getting into trouble that gets suspended. You could be at the wrong place at the wrong time,
right,
the wrong
right.
group, and then, you're suspended from school.
We know about that. Now, can they come back more than once?
They can come back more than once. We don't allow them to come back more than 3 times in a term, in a quarter. So, per year, actually, 3 times per year.
So, what's evident to me, though, is that this Project Rock, which is free, correct?
Yes.
It is incumbent upon the parents, though, to send them there, correct?
Correct, it is.
That's a good thing in and of itself. If they have the initiative to take the time to make the application,
Correct.
to get involved, it seems that those parents would be most likely to have a good relationship with their children and be able to be supportive and helpful so that they don't get in trouble again.
Correct.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to get the information out. I think that's one of the key things.
Well, that's and this is a good forum to do that.
It sure is.
But yeah, because if the parents and the community don't know about Project Rock,
right.
they're suspended. Okay, Johnny, you just stay home and
Correct.
figure it out, and in 4 days you'll go back to school. But in the meantime, they've gotten in more trouble or whatever. So
right.
it's just a recipe for disaster.
We find that a lot of parents don't know about the service, about the program. And so we're doing what we can in the school system to get the word out to all the parents, because...
Well, certainly, and I'm sorry to interrupt
Sure.
you, but certainly the school system, when they suspend Johnny, they do, I hope, make the parents aware of this alternative,
They
don't
do.
they? Okay.
They definitely do make them aware of it. But if it's a 1-day suspension, it's probably not a big thing for mom.
Yeah.
Mom might get upset with Johnny and whatever the case may be. But when you get into 3 to 10 days, it becomes a little more serious, and they need to have something available for them to do.
Well, and especially as they're older. I mean, missing 10 days of school when you're a senior,
Correct.
it could be life altering. I mean,
It is.
At that level, shoot, 2 days. I know my son's a senior now, and gosh, what, you're sick? Too bad. Go to school. You know, you can't miss a day. It's too, you know. But no, that's great. Now on this Club Pure, and we're about out of time, so I just have a couple more questions.
Sure.
But, if someone can't afford the $7-8 a day, do you work with them? Is there any sliding scale or anything? I always like to bring that out because, you know, people, you know.
Sure. Generally, when there's more than 2 kids that are enrolling in the program, we generally work with a parent on the 3rd child.
Okay.
We've tried to reduce our rates as low as we possibly can.
Well, and I'm not
Sure.
trying to nickel and dime, because that is very reasonable and very fair, you know. But I was just, you know.
And we are looking at the possibility of getting some additional funding.
Okay.
And that's what our organization is working on this year, is to get some grant funding to be able to bring students in that
can't afford it.
That cannot,
right.
or to subsidize. So.
Well, the concept of the Friday night thing and the performance and all of that is just so great, because you have the kids, you know, doing something great and incorporating the families in to see that. I mean, you know, what could be better?
You know, one of the things that we're also working on right now is, over the summer we launched a teen nightclub. We trialed it for 10 weeks. We had 10 different Saturday evenings, and we got a team of people together to try and see what it would take to get that up and running. And we had about 20 to 30 students that came out on the Saturday evenings. And so right now we're working on doing something on a bigger scale in a community center here in Fort Pierce for teenagers on a Friday night.
Oh, it'd be great.
And what we'd like to do is actually bring in the different organizations that provide services to teenagers and families to be there to offer services that parents and kids probably don't even know about that exist. And so that's the next thing that we're actually working on this year, because we actually want to bring the out-of-school suspension rate down. That's what we're trying to do.
And that's the ultimate goal.
That's the ultimate goal. And so we've been having some meetings with the children's department at the school.
Right.
And we're talking about the possibility of bringing what we do on a Friday evening into the school system.
Wow.
And so rally around the issue in the school, whatever the principal's issue is, rally the parents and the students around the arts to actually create awareness and deal with the situation.
Oh, no, that would be, and you're getting a good response, I guess.
We are getting a very good response.
Great.
And so that's what we're working on this year, the Teen Nightclub, and working with the students in our programs in the schools. And so we're very excited about that.
Oh, that's great. Well, Nicholas, we're done. Thank you for coming. This was wonderful. I hope the word spreads.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on the show today.
Thanks.